To Kamala, who, well, we just saw where she is. She's out on the trail, listening to and talking with voters. Honey, I can't wait for you to come back to Chicago because we're having a great time here.
His most appropriate title, progressive sex symbol. Move over, Ryan Gosling. The modern female fantasy is embodied by the man who might soon become our first gentleman. Emhoff is secure enough with his own masculinity to sometimes prioritize his wife's ambitions over his own, in italics. What a hunk.
Megyn Kelly is right. This is a story where I'm going to agree with Megyn Kelly. Now, she was responding to an op-ed written in the Washington Post about Kamala Harris's husband, Doug Emhoff, who I'm sure is a wonderful person, but maybe we just leave it at that instead of trying to make him a sex symbol. And that is exactly what the op-ed was seeking to do.
Okay, you ready for me to shock you?
No, come on, Cenk, please don't do it. Don't do it.
I partly agree with the central thesis of the article. I said it. Hey, don't scroll away. Come back. Because before the video continues, we just want to urge you to lend your support to TYT. You power our honest reporting. You do it at tyt.com/team, and we love you for it. Okay, so I can explain, but do you want to?
No, I can already predict, but let's get to what the op-ed said, okay? Because the op-ed does list some things that are wonderful about Doug Emhoff as an individual, as a man, as a person, right? There are lots of wonderful people in the world, okay? I don't want to sleep with all of them, okay? Not even close. So like, I don't understand this weird like objectifying him as a sex symbol when you can just outline how impressed you are based on his character, based on who he is as a husband, as a father. So it's titled Doug Emhoff, Modern Day Sex Symbol, okay? Emhoff is secure enough with his own masculinity to sometimes prioritize his wife's ambitions over his own. What a hunk. Is he? I mean, okay. A hunk is a hunk, right? Like, anyway, okay, let me just. Doug Emhoff has been called many things in recent years. Second Gentleman, Goofy Dad. I don't know who calls him Crappy Jew, but.
Oh no, Trump did, that's why.
Oh, okay. But perhaps his most appropriate title, progressive sex symbol. Is it an appropriate title? Like, why? Okay, move over, Ryan Gosling. The modern female fantasy is embodied by the man who might soon become our first gentleman. Emhoff appears to be a genuine mensch with an impressive career. He's smitten with his wife and supports her ambitions, as is obvious from his convention speech and their sweet interactions on the campaign trail. That's wonderful. He's a wonderful guy. So like, why? Okay, let me put it this way. Let's think about a powerful woman in politics, Kamala Harris. I remember when Obama just implied, very like innocently in my opinion, that Kamala Harris is hot, right?
Yeah.
And like the world exploded.
Mainly Michelle Obama exploded, but.
Oh, I didn't think about that. Okay, maybe. I mean, I personally would not like it if my husband said that on the world stage, but okay. But like, there was also accusations that Obama was being sexist. Would anyone say this about a man who's attractive? Like, people were upset. And so if you don't want female politicians to be objectified like that, why are we randomly objectifying Emhoff of all people in that way?
Yeah. All right, so first of all, I get it. Second of all, I love him. Third of all,
do you want to sleep with him?
No, but I can relate as a fellow sex symbol, you know.
Just celebrate someone being a good person. You don't have to turn them into a sex symbol. It makes no sense.
I like that Skip, our stage manager, left. Okay, no, seriously, guys. A couple of things here. I am serious about some of it. So number one, okay, why do I like Doug Emhoff? I wrote this on Twitter. People like exploded, like, do you like the establishment? Hold on, calm down. So in his speech, he explained how he grew up, and it was identical to how I grew up. So riding your bike in New Jersey, the garages are open. You get to your friend's house, whoever's house you are at. You eat dinner. You got the couches covered in plastic. He grew up in Jersey.
Couches, yeah.
Has played fantasy football for several decades like I have. I mean, just became a lawyer like I did, etc. Every part of his story resonated with me, and he seemed like a super sweet guy. Okay, now that's just why I have an affinity towards him. Okay,
Are you aroused?
No, not yet. So then I read the article, and look, her main point is that standards for what is hot for guys has changed a little bit.
Has it?
It used to be, now when you get just outside of looks, like on looks, it is what it is, right? But like the guy who used to play around, more of a macho man, etc., used to be more popular. She's like, now a guy who supports his wife and her career and his understanding about it is hot to a lot of women.
Can we have both?
Yeah, of course. I mean, ideally you want both, but what she's pointing out is that the culture has shifted a little bit so that women think, oh, what Emhoff is doing, especially for a lot of career women who take a lot of crap for their careers, and it's tough to handle the marriage and the kids and the career at the same time. When a guy steps up and goes, you know what, why do we prioritize your career? I'll continue mine, but we're gonna prioritize. Look, I don't know that I could do it, to be honest. But when guys do it in situations like this, a lot of women do find it hot.
Okay. I disagree, but I don't speak for all women. And I think that's probably part of the reason why I'm pushing back against this a little bit. Like, I don't like when one woman comes out and then like sets the tone for all women. You don't speak for all women, and there's lots of variation in what women find attractive. And I disagree. I don't want, like, I'll talk about my marriage specifically. I don't want my husband to prioritize my career over his own career. I want us to both have our careers, and I want us to both support each other equally, and that's what we do, and it works out. Like, look, I think it's bad for a marriage to prioritize one person over the other, right? I think that builds resentment eventually.
Yeah, look, Anna, overall, of course I agree with you, but sometimes when your wife is the vice president of the United States and she's running for president, we're gonna prioritize her career, right?
I hear what you're saying.
And that's just what happens, and that's okay. And by the way, Usha Vance, who's also very successful, has now also stopped doing her law career to help JD Vance run, just like Emhoff did with Kamala Harris. But that's part of my point. What's good for the goose is good for the gander. And so now that some guys are doing that, God bless. Look, and I say it as a guy who can't do it because I can't stop, and I'm so driven that I just can't stop, right? So, but maybe in a weird way that makes me respect them more, that they can and they could be strong enough to do that. I don't know, but overall, I agree with you, Anna. To each his own. Whoever can do whatever they like, God bless, right?
And it's
the
not
one
new.
place where she goes wrong, of course, this is obvious, and what's setting you off and everybody else off is, you don't have to say sex symbol.
Yeah, like, come on.
Come on. Like, you could say, hey, that's hot, that's cool, we appreciate that, that's the new kind of man that women appreciate, the culture is shifting, all that makes sense. I know why you're putting sex symbol in there, because it's gonna get a lot more attention, and it
is,
did.
Congratulations, mission accomplished. Final thing I'll say is, women finding themselves attracted to men based on personality traits or characteristics as opposed to the way they look is the oldest thing in the world. Like, women have always been like that. That is not new, so.
Yeah. Also, sex symbols should be hot, like me.
Okay.